Hi there, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. When I got home from church, I was cold, and I put in my coffee, I put a little bit of caramel ice cream topping, just a bit, and a uh, teaspoon of whipping cream, unwhipped. And so I've really enjoyed my coffee this morning. It was quite a treat. Won't do that very often, but I want to talk to you today about life in the 60s, 1960s. I was married in 1964, and we were farmers, lived 45 miles out in the country. So I'd never lived out in the country before, so it was an adjustment, but it was okay. And we lived literally from one harvest to the next. When we harvested wheat, we had money and paid our bills, and what little bit we had left, we made it stretch until we harvested maize. And that's how we lived, and we were gracious. It was wonderful that this lady in town in Dalhart was gracious enough to let us charge groceries from harvest to harvest. And I was thinking the other day, that's how I became a frugal person and a person that can stretch a dime or stretch a dollar, however you want to say it. But I only went into town once a week and bought groceries, and charging them. I was very, very aware of how it was adding up. So there was no splurging. I bought necessities, and I bought what I needed. And, I could make something out of nothing. I just learned how to make do and how to stretch it and how to survive. So every time I went into the store, I just was very, very aware of what I was spending. And well, back then, in our early married days during the 60s, gas was, I've been trying to think. When I was in high school, I graduated in 1963, gas was under $1. I'm pretty sure it was still under $1, because us girls, that we could get 3 or 4 of us together and put gas in the car and drag Maine. If y'all don't know what dragging Maine means, that was our only entertainment. We had a youth center where you could go in there and have cokes and listen to music and dance. But other than that, we had nothing to do but drag Maine. So that's what we did. And us girls could come up with $1 a piece, or even 50 cents a piece, and put gas in the car and go all night if we wanted to. Of course, we couldn't do that back then, and we had parents that we had time we had to get home. But so when we were married in 64, gas hadn't gone up all that much. But even say it was $1 something, $1 at the most. Well, the gas stations, as a promotion, I don't know if anybody else did it or not. I don't think the grocery store had S&H green stamps, but the gas stations offered them to you, that for every dollar you spent, you got so many S&H green stamps. And they gave you, at the beginning of it all, they gave you books, little books to put them in, pages to paste your put your stamps in. When you got that book all filled up, you could redeem it. Now, the only place that you could redeem those was in Amarillo. And Amarillo is 90 miles from Dalhart. But it was the highlight, just like the Montgomery Ward catalog used to be the highlight. Redeeming those stamps was such a thrill. And you planned and you figured out what you wanted, and they had little catalogs and you could figure out what you wanted. And you could buy appliances, I mean, pretty big stuff, you know, not stoves, but like mixers and toasters and, you know, stuff like that. And I had my eye on a lamp. For some reason, that's what I wanted. My very first time I ever redeemed my stamps. And it might have taken 2 or 3 books. I don't remember. You know, my memory's pretty good, but yet it's not all that good anymore. But it was a pretty big store where you went in and redeemed your stuff, and you had to take what was on the floor, you know, in the store. So anyway, I know if you didn't live back then, you don't understand probably how much that meant to us, but it was such a treat and such a joy, and something that you remembered because you just remembered your first purchase or whatever. I bet a lot of you that are listening, maybe, if you lived in my era back then, you can relate, because it was fun. It was a lot of fun to do. And you know, at the gas station, it was full service. You didn't ever get out of your car. They would check your tires, they would check your oil, and they would fill up your car for you. It was full service. And it was, it was very, you got to know, they were hometown folks, of course, but those men didn't dare forget to give you your stamps, because you would have got a good tongue lashing if you didn't give us the stamps. So women didn't mind going and getting the gas because we got the stamps. So, you know, we still call them the good old days. And I think the reason is because it was so much more simpler and maybe a little kinder. Well, I know it was kinder. And we just enjoyed things because we didn't have much. We didn't have much at all, but we were happy and we enjoyed, you know. So that's just my little story for today. S&H green stamps. If you do remember those days, I would just love for you to comment and tell me all about it and what you bought, what you got to redeem them for. All right, you guys have a wonderful day. And I hope some men start watching my videos, because I know you know too what S&H green stamps were. So please check in again next week, and until we meet again, God bless.